been a long time coming. To get to game week, we've been through an awful lot. Getting to know each other, letting everybody know their role. Basic philosophy on, how we plan on winning football games. Spring ball, then training camp. We know a lot more about our football team now. We had an excellent camp. We stayed away from injuries. That's one of the things you want to do. And then just see daily improvements, which we've seen. So now it's about this next step of finally getting to game week and finishing plays, playing in front of a crowd, and just hopefully getting some momentum started, for a good season. Murray State, I'm sure they have some of the same things in mind as, starting their football season off. But in an ideal world, you'd like to open your season at home in front of a great crowd, and feel like we're going to do that. This week, game week, what changes a little bit? Of course, our guys are student athletes now. We have a routine that we go through, and it's pretty much the same routine each week. Things we'll be doing this week. We voted on captains yesterday, so that's important. We've selected 4 guys. I'll tell them today. I haven't told them yet, but so we know who will be standing out front, leading our troops, our men, and that's what an honor, to earn that respect from your teammates by what you've done on a daily basis. But again, Murray State, don't know a lot about them. And for me, first time around, I don't know a lot about many of our opponents that we're going to play. But it's more about what we do. I really feel that way. Coach Stewart has done a good job with the program. And when you invest in, being, I think, offensive coordinator, moving up, it has to be pretty special for you to lead your team. So that's where we are. Can't wait to play this week and try to get some momentum started. Take your question.
Spring ball, training camp, it's all part of the process, but how eager are you as a first-year coach to show your product, and what do you want to show?
Well, we want to put a good product on the field, best product possible on the field, and from the start. It's not a grace period or anything like that. And when I say grace period, no more than any other first game of the season period that you have. I made the statement that normally between week 1 and week 2 is when you see the most improvement, I think, during the year. But for us, again, we've hit every situation as much as you possibly can, but you never know the first game of the season, what you'll see. You try to cover the waterfront as much as you can and hope and pray.
Lovie, how did you manage to get through training camp health-wise?
Pretty good shape. There are always bumps and bruises that you go through, for camp. I padded for most of the time in training camp. After we were able to get in pads, we went in pads every day, but nothing major. One part about college football that I really like is you don't have to have an injury list that you go over, and that's pretty good for a football coach to not have to go over any injuries that you might have, but we don't have anything serious going on.
How has having an experienced quarterback like Wes Lund made that transition to college football easier for you?
It has definitely made it an easier transition. When you come into a new place, there are some positions you would like to have some senior leadership. Quarterback, of course, is the main one you talk about. And Wes Lunt has done everything we've asked him to do. He can make all of the throws. He's smart, intelligent. He's a good leader. Our guys look up to him. Our personalities mesh. He and Coach McGee have really hit it off well also. And it's something special about, for our senior players, and we have quite a few that have meant an awful lot to our program, for them to finish it up the right way. I know, of course, Wes and the rest of the guys are excited about that.
How do you manage just the excitement of the first game in terms of the players not getting too overhyped before the kickoff at all?
Well, I think it has to go with the routine that you go through game week. I mean, we don't play today. Simple as that. But you have I lay out a map of the week. We go through every step along the way and what we're going to do every minute to game day, which we do normally on Sunday. But from there, then you get back to what's happening currently. And today for our players, I mean, it's a day off. I mean, they're students today. But tomorrow we will really, get back to working on our opponent. And you have to concentrate. It's that moment. You can't think behind, of course, or ahead. So that will be amped up a little bit as the week goes along.
Well, you said the 4 captains don't know that they're captains yet. And when will you tell us who is?
Today, after I tell them. We don't have a whole lot of secrets. Just, you can see why we want them to, I don't want to necessarily get the message to them through you. So I'll tell them in a meeting tomorrow, really, and we'll get it out after that.
Can you go over the depth chart and how particularly the offensive line came together?
Depth chart, I can talk on specific players as you asked, but for you guys out there at practice, depth chart wise, Wes Lunt's our quarterback. Defensive side of the ball, Hardy Nickerson's our Mike linebacker. They'll be making the calls from the sideline. And we have a bunch of other guys that'll fill in from there. How's that? Offensive line. Joe Spencer has meant an awful lot to us around here. Both of our tackles, Austin Smith, Christian DeLauro, good football players. Gabe Megason has really kind of stepped up. Nick Algretti also. So those guys have been running with our first group most of the time. Seen improvement from all of them. When you're offensive tackle here and you have Carroll Phillips and you have Smoot on the other side, it's, once you get to game time, it shouldn't be a whole lot harder than what you've been witnessing every day in practice. So we'll need our offensive line to play their best ball, of course, right off the bat.
How has Hardy Nickerson, younger linebacker, been with all the underclassmen linebackers that you have? How has he been as a leader, both sort of mentally but also physically?
Yeah, and we go by Coach Nickerson and Hardy Nickerson. So Hardy Nickerson has been everything you would want a guy to be coming in. Just keep in mind, the first day of training camp, that was his first time to officially be, on our football team, to be in the group, in the linebacker meeting room, defensive meeting room. And when you've been around the defensive package as long as he has, it's been an easier transition, of course, when your dad is giving you information. But he stepped in, hasn't missed a day of practice. Intelligent. He's a Cal grad already. Intelligent, picks it up really quick. What we have on both sides of the ball with Wes Lunt and Hardy Nickerson, that's the way you want to start it. But I know it's pretty special. It's special there are a lot of different side stories going on. Of course, that's definitely one for the Nickerson.
Coach, what went into picking the captains? What was what made you decide these guys?
Well, what made the team decide, it's simple as that. I vote for 2 offensive guys and 2 defensive guys. Everyone else, if you're on the defensive side, you vote for 2 guys. Offensive guys vote for 2. Simple as that, and we tabulate the votes from there. Normally, it's not like there's a lot of it's pretty cut and dried on who you go with, and that was pretty much the case for our guys.
Season-long thing?
Yes. Okay. We have season-long captains, and we'll probably have a special teams captain weekly.
Lovie, you've been through a lot of season opening weeks and season openers. How does this feel for you personally? Are there butterflies? You feel like it's another day?
I've pretty good memory, and I can you have about 2 or 3 hours, I can tell you what happened my first 7th grade game, sophomore year, college as a coach, first year assistant, first year coordinator, all throughout them all. You remember them all. And really, it's the same tone. Yeah, butterflies, excitement, anticipation for that week. And there's nothing like it. Each one is different. But for me, coming back now, I haven't had, it's been a long time since I kind of walked in the stadium and there's a band playing. Cheerleaders, just excitement of young people around. So, there's a lot of excitement, to put it mildly.
Julian Hilton is listed on the depth chart at strong safety. What has he done this month to kind of elevate his play?
Well, Julian, we have a lot of young players as we came in that we didn't know a lot about. Julian Hilton, as you just look at his ability, athletic ability, he's as fast as anybody on the team. He can jump higher than anybody on the team. Smart. Young player that just hadn't played a lot of football. We have that with a few of our players, but from the time we got in here, he's been competing and got himself in a position where he could get playing time. Again, what we're looking for from and our safeties, a guy that can, we're going to play man coverage, have to have that skill set. You'll hit, and some, decent instincts. We think Julian has most of that.
Trey Watson at strong side linebacker was a pretty intense competition, it seemed like.
Yeah, and strong side. We have a Mike linebacker and Hardy Nickerson, and then we have two outside guys, kind of same body type, some of the same traits you look for. Trey, in an ideal world, you have the same type of athlete in all three positions, and we're talking about athletic guys that can run. But Trey has played Mike. He's played all three positions. Smart, has been an instinctive player, and has just got himself in a position for playing time. Similar to how we talk with Julian. Young player, hadn't played a lot. It's time now to step up.
Coach, there's been a lot of talk about how much there's so much NFL coaching experience on the staff, the most in the country, 56 years combined. How important has that been, or has it been that much of a help throughout training camp getting ready for the season?
The most in the country. I was just kind of thinking about that statement. You hope that, I just know that, these guys have an NFL background, but they're good football coaches, period. They're good fundamental coaches. They know the game. They know how to get a point across. They know how to teach. Of course, we're looking for stern teachers. NFL, college, whatever your background is, I know these guys know how to do that. You would hope that that's a positive, and you would hope. I know that it is, and can't wait for the guys to do their thing on the field.
How much does it help Allegretti and Meganson to have so much experience on both their left and their right?
It helps a lot, and of course, you're right, left and right for them. When you're a young player, it's enough. You got a lot on your plate, just trying to beat the guy once the whistle blows, but knowing what to do and feeling really comfortable with that helps quite a bit. And so it should help both of these guys, but it's not like they haven't played a lot. They've been pretty much in those roles all along, so they've had a lot of reps to, for that learning curve to kind of kick in a little bit.
I know you don't ever like to look past dinner time, but for these
I don't, so you want to stop the question right there?
But for these more, FCS or non-marquee games, who gets more out of it? Do you see more value in the first string getting the tune-up, or is it more of the value of the second,
we're
third,
definitely
fourth
not going to
game?
go. Ask me that. You're not, but what? You talk about the first string. We're playing Murray State this week, and I don't know. Again, keep it. I'm an NFL coach. I'm just coming to college. I'm a rookie, right? I just know that there's an opponent we're playing out here that's worthy. I don't much more past that, and we look at one opponent at a time. They have an excellent quarterback that's throwing the ball for a lot of yards, a good receiving core, play hard on the defensive side. So what we're planning on doing is using all of our guys to try to get a win to open the season. Hadn't looked much past that.
Do you anticipate, at what point this week do you sort of anticipate deciding who's going to be returning kicks and punts?
Do you look this week? I think we know that right now. who we're going to go with. Right now, we know who's starting right now at every position. And we're going to keep working towards getting those guys better. For training camp, most of those decisions were decided. Once you get to game week, nobody's competing for a job. We're getting our plan against an opponent now. It was us competing against each other. Now it's about getting ready for the opponent. So we feel pretty good about who we'll put back there then. And just don't see any reason to, since we're a new team, to say any of those right now. You guys has been around in practice, you can probably figure out who's going to do what.
Lovie, what did Nate Eckert show you to get the top fullback spot? How is he transitioned to the new position?
Well, Nate, again, coming in new and without anyone in the – well, I don't even think we had the fullback position listed when we initially got here. As far as the pass, fullback wasn't used an awful lot. I think to be a traditional team, you need a fullback. There are times and places where you need a fullback. Not having one on your football team, a lot of times you look to the tight end position or you look to the linebacker position. And in Nate's case, it was kind of a combination of both. What he's done, he has a little bit of size to him. We think he's a good blocker. He will be a good blocker for us. And he can carry the football a little bit. Through training camp, he's gotten a chance to play the fullback position, play a little bit of tailback also. Really like what he and Austin Roberts have done, just embracing their role as fullbacks for our football team.
Bouncing off of that, can you give us specifics on what types of formations and packages he'll be involved in, and also how often he'll be on the field?
You said that with a straight face, too.
I did. I told you I smiled. Can you smile?
Okay, well, I'll smile, and you can understand. I tell you what, Saturday, show up out there, and you'll be able to see all the different spots that we'll have them. And as far as secrets, I mean, it's not like we're trying to keep secrets, but you kind of figure out where the fullback traditionally is. And then once you have that down, we're going to do the opposite of that. How's that?
Weekends when it comes to recruiting and getting guys on.
Well, recruiting has been, you say how important the question was how important has it been, or will it be these next 3 weeks with recruiting? I think since the moment we got here, recruiting has been very important that week, the next week, and the next. That's how we've looked at it. I mean, our guys have done a great job of every step along the way. Next phase, of course, that we talk about just for our football team is for some of the guys that are looking at us to come now and see the final product too, see how you would really fit, how we do everything from pregame warm-up. This is just another part of their education on knowing as much as they can about us. So it is important. We'll have someone here every weekend like most teams do, and we want them to see game day here at Memorial Stadium. Recruiting is going about the way I assume it would. We're in position. A lot has to be decided. Just like any typical game, you want to get in position and stay in there and then get ready for that big push later on. And that's what we're trying to do.
You mentioned playing back to Eckert for a second. You mentioned playing him a little bit at tailback. Why'd you do that?
I was hoping that would just kind of slide through a little bit. I just think you can't have too many tail guys that can do different things. It's kind of simple as that. And when you have a guy that size, it's not all bad to have a big guy like that from time to time without going down. I've already gotten too deep into what we want to do with Nate, but he just gives us a lot of versatility.
Is there also an advantage there in getting him more touches on the ball, more carries given his
No, Keyshawn Vaughn wouldn't buy that at all, or any of our other running backs. They say that there's only a few touches right now.
No, I mean just as far as practice with the ball in his hands.
Now, I'm saying that we don't need Nate touching the ball in practice an awful lot. Our tailbacks need to be doing that. I understand the question. Nate just has a general rule, will have a role for us. Excited about his role. For a player to be able to play that many positions is saying quite a bit. Need more athletes like him on our team.
Do you expect to play freshmen this week, any true freshmen?
Any true freshman that we feel like can help us win games. That, you know, I like playing into the future a little bit, but it's about now. The best possible team, and if there's someone we think can help us right now, we're not looking past that. And there might be a couple of freshmen that maybe fit that role.